Continuing from the previous video, which covers Amazon Web Services S3 login and upload on the graphical user interface. We are starting this video in the graphical user interface, having completed the uploading of the first 4 files. Grokking basic AWS S3 GUI deep archive basics, mistakes, recovery, and workflows for storing huge amounts of assets that will be needed if ever a catastrophic failure, hard drives, solid-state drives, network address servers fail for whatever reason. We won't be out of business. Our data is co-located on 3 servers, what's known as cloud-based, for $1 per terabyte per month. There's Amazon S3. This is my bucket video archive. And this is the file folder that I downloaded. And there are 4 things in the file folder. And this last thing here failed. And I uploaded it again. But notice, I forgot to set the storage class to Glacier Deep Archive. And now it's storing it in standard, which is more expensive because the Glacier Deep Archive is the one that I'm interested in using. Okay, I've discovered that this file here and this file here are identical files. So no surprise, they're the same. So I want to get rid of that. How do I do it? Well, it looks like we have an Actions tab here, and we can do things. So I think we need to click on this. Oh, delete comes up right there. So we'll delete that. And that's permanently delete objects it's asking. And I need to type permanently delete objects. So you have to be very intentional. So successfully deleted 1 object. Well, let's go back. Click on this and see what we have. So we have 3 things, and they're all in Glacier Deep Archive. So I clicked on this, and it took me to this page. There's Object Actions, and this is where one would restore it. There is this one job that I did called Genome, and it's on my gray solid-state drive. And I do not want to lose that. Let's upload this Geno folder upload. Here we go, files and folders, type, size. See there in properties is where you put your storage class. Drag and drop the files and folders you want to upload here. I didn't know that you could drag and drop. If you click on upload, what it does is select a folder to upload. This one I do not want to lose. And there's 58 files in that folder. And here they all are. Okay. 33 files succeeded. 25 files failed. It says clean up incomplete multi-part uploads. Because of the errors of this upload, I might be storing multi-part uploads that can't be viewed in the console. We recommend that you create a bucket life cycle rule to permanently delete incomplete multi-part roles. If I click on this, will I see? Yes, I'll see all the ones that have errors. I'm going to find out which of these ones failed and identify them on the drive that I'm working on, the gray, and move that drive over to another laptop and restart this downloading. Here, so here's where it starts. And I guess I could write them all down by hand. There's another screen full of them. And another screen. Now this is October 4th and this is July 16th. So it didn't fail in date order. I made a screenshot of all these, so I have these names. Now I'm going to navigate away from this. There's 25 files. Thank God this isn't in the thousands. There are programs that keep track of all this sort of stuff for you for monthly subscriptions, and there's other YouTubers who let you know about this. I'm going to navigate to this site from my other laptop. Sign out and then sign back in. And I'm presented with this overwhelming screen of options. You want to manage the S3 management console, but you're presented with, let's click on, here's services. This is the thing that comes up. And you can see, well, it does show what recently visited, and it looks like you could star something that you know that you use a lot. Look at all these. I clicked on this glacier. That's what I want to store things long term. And then this comes up. Create vaults, set data retrieval policy, send event notifications, learn more about all that stuff. And in here in the fine print, it says to begin using the S3 console. So I clicked on that. And that did take me to where I store my things. You can see there's the buckets, and I can click on this, and now I can see my buckets, which are basically file folders. So here's the one where I've been trying to put everything, selecting the files from my blue T5, which is here. And I clicked on one of these files and it adds it to the list. So you actually do get to go back and keep adding files if you make a mistake. Changing my power and sleep, making sure that when it's plugged in, when the laptop's plugged in, never turn it off. And this is the setting for the screen. Maybe leaving the screen on will help. This has always been when plugged in, the PC goes to sleep after never. You can see there's 260 files remaining. Where was this? My mouse. Okay. It says 260 files total. 260 files remain. So 5 have been copied. And here's 3 of them right there. And these are 6.7 megabit files. At 1.2 megabits a second, one of these files should take about 7 seconds, but it likes to jump all around. It's gotten 3 from this pile and apparently 4 others. What I'm going to do is stop this and see how it handles stopping it with these files. And then I'm going to restart it on a Linux, an Ubuntu box. If I press cancel here, uploaded canceled for remaining 265. And then connect this to a Linux box and go over there and start this process. It's going to last 3 days. I'll connect to Google Drive over here and print out a checklist for accounting. So we'll see if that causes a hiccup early on instead of waiting until this thing gets 3/4 full, and then it's really a nightmare to write down all these names of these files. Okay, we're going to boot up Ubuntu, and I have the T5 Samsung solid state drive plugged into it. This is Ubuntu version 20.04 LTS, a long-term service. We're going to log into Amazon Web Services S3 and upload these files. So these are the directories here. Zaki, Cornice, Wood Gutter Box. These 2 files are in it. Then there's Zaki, Cornice, Scope, and Tear Off. And these 3 files are in it. I didn't recopy these. See, this is the date, 2021, February 26th. There should be a 0 in here. And that's the time at 12:41 and 35 seconds. That's my naming convention. Adobe Bridge manages all that. I have Ubuntu up. Firefox web browser, I wasn't sure if this browser is supported by Amazon Web Services, so I looked it up, and sure enough, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Apple Safari. While I'm here, it looks like I can just click on this and it'll take me somewhere and I can sign in here. So I'm going to set this down because I need two hands to type. Here we are logged into, this is the first screen that comes up. My name's there. This is where my data is stored. They like to let you know that. You have choices, but the farther away, the more it is. And I looked at the disk that were mounted. So you can see that there is a 500 gigabyte Samsung portable solid state drive mounted there. So it sees this, look at scale storage resources to meet fluctuate with 11 nines of data durability. Protect your data with unmatched security. Yeah, this data that we upload is co-located to 3 other data centers. Here's storage S3. I think we've got to hit account snapshot. There it is. We found it. And there's this video archive. And we were dealing with this Zaki. Yep, there's the 3 files that are in there. And we'll go back up to Zaki Corners and we'll see scope and tear off is 3. Zaki Corners. Wood gutter box is 2. These are MP4s, the other 2 are JPEGs. Okay, what I'm going to do, I made a note of which files it stored. And I'm going to download over the top of these and see how it handles that. Okay, scope and tear off. There's 3 JPEGs in there. There's not very many JPEGs in anything. So we'll go with this one. And we're gonna upload scope and tear off from this solid state drive. And oh look, this looks different on this. Add the file Zaki Corners, scope and tear off. So here's all the JPEGs, and so here's everything. I'm going to select all of them. I need shift and click. All of those are selected. They should go into scope and tear off, and there's some duplicates here. We'll see how it handles that. So here's Zaki, scope and tear off, and here are these 20. I'm only going to do 1 directory at a time now instead of waiting 3 days, and that way I can check on it. And if something goes wrong and it only gets part of it, it's easier to track down. See, there's a 2 there, so there's 20 files and folders, 9 gigabytes. We're going to go to properties and come down here and select Glacier Deep Archive, and we're not setting any other things, and click on upload and see if it discovers those files that are in there. See, it says uploading 19 files. It's interesting. Those 3 they listed as succeeded, which is true from the last time. And here's something exciting. Normally it doesn't do 1 at a time, but I'm thinking it likes this Linux machine because it's probably some kind of Unix server that's talking to it, and it's liking how this is going. It's just taking 1 file at a time. At least it is right now. It's going at 1.2 megabytes. So it's going right down the line. And it knew that there was 3 of them already in there. They were apparently, it identified them and didn't attempt to
right over it or give you an error message or stop or shut down. And so we'll see what it does. Check this out whenever we get to the other directory. One of the things I need to do is go in the system settings and make sure that this thing doesn't go to sleep. 14 files remain out of 20. Estimated time remaining 2 hours. Well, in a couple of hours, 20 files successfully uploaded to this Zaki Cornice scope and tear off. And there were already 3 JPEGs in that folder. So it knew from a session that I aborted that these 3 JPEGs were in there. So let's go to the next folder, in which is wood gutter box, and there's 2 MP4 files in there. Click on that, and we want this Zaki Cornice, and we want this wood and gutter box, which is left over from the previous. There's 2. So we are going to upload more files to this folder. Let's just click upload here. And now we're gonna go to, let's add folder. It's gonna put a folder under the folder. So let's add files. And we're going to select all these files, open. We are uploading into this folder, this directory, all these 20, of which 2 of these MP4s here are already in there, but I selected them anyway. Come down here to properties to select the storage class of Glacier Deep Archive, and come down to the end and hit upload, and it says 20 files, 6.5 megabyte, and it's downloading. Well, look at it. It's 364 kilobytes a second. That's, I wonder why that's so slow. Maybe it'll speed up in a minute. Maybe that's why it's saying 6 hours. I don't think I'm doing anything over on the other computer that hogging up bandwidth, and this could go up whenever it switches to the MP4 file. So it's now got a hold of the first MP4 file here, and the transfer rate is starting to climb, probably because of it being sustained. Alright, we'll let it cook for a while.
Transfer was 100% complete. AWS S3 takes the time to upload all files selected, including previously selected and uploaded files, then determines if there are any duplicate files, then discards one of the duplicates. So we cannot upload exact duplicate files accidentally. This makes it possible to reselect an entire list of files or the entire folder if a connection is broken without concern of duplication. The impact of doing that is longer connection time and bandwidth usage.
Alright, I'm in this directory here, Zaki Cornice, and I'm uploading a folder. It shows it, so this folder reconstruction is going to be under Zaki Cornice. And there are 202 files and folders in there, 220 gigabytes. 3 gigabytes have already been downloaded, so I just started it. It's estimating 2 days. So let's see what it does. It is November 3rd, 8:49. I have gotten as far as 46 files, 23%. There's 156 errors. And this time, instead of selecting the directory, I'm going to select the files in the directory. Okay, so Amazon S3 finished downloading that one file. And let's see, it was Corbell in this directory that there's 14 objects. That's right, it got that right, even though I selected all of them in order to only get 4. So, but it re-downloads everything, all 14, then makes the determination of what's duplicate and what's not. And I verified that with downloading one object. One needs to keep track of the objects that failed and only upload those, unless you want to upload every object, every file again, and all the time that it takes to do that. So I plan on continue working on this to getting it as streamlined as I can without having AWS S3 re-downloading everything just to get some of the last missed or failed files. I'm uploading these Howard cabinet. 25 made it, 155 did not. So I need to see if the directories, subdirectories are there, and how to figure out which ones failed or which ones. How would be the best way to organize this thing so I can get them uploaded. I've determined that 3 files have made it into this 2 router setting out of this. And if I go to 1 router setting, 22 files made it. So let's see how many files there are left. And I will upload at least one of the other directories that didn't make it at all and see what's left. So I'm going to go into this directory that has those 2 file folders. There should be no file. There are no files in this directory. So I'll upload a whole folder and see this one. Let's see if we just click on this, maybe we can see how many files. 22 made it. There's a lot more than 22 here. Let's go. And only 3 out of this batch made it. So I could conceivably just select all of these, and more than 3, I don't think that would be that much cost in terms of time. So see, I guess it wants me to select a folder, see, and so I'll just select this entire folder, even though 3 upload, yes, and properties, storage class Glacier Deep and upload. So we know that it won't duplicate those 3 files that are already in there. It either figures out at the end that it already has them or it writes over them. So there's 57 files in this folder, of which 3 made it. Okay, I've been away for a while. It's November 7th, 12:30 noon, and this has finished some time ago. I mean, stopped. 37 files succeeded, 20 files failed. So this is a good exercise. How do I write all these 20 files down? I guess if I want them, that's what I need to do, and then just re-upload them. Right. So there are programs that manage all this. They're just a monthly fee, and or you can write your own. And there's a number of languages you can program this in. So for now, I am going to manually write it down and note how much money that I could have made doing something else. But this is all for the learning, right? Have a list of these 20 files that failed, written down. It's not too bad. I mean, these are long names, but they're dates. Like, that means September 1st, 2021 at 13:16:48 seconds. So 1/16. So it's easy to write it down. I don't have to write down the first digits all the time. And the rest are, since they're numbers, it's easy more or less. But nevertheless, there is 20 of them, and I'll be looking out for a better way and evaluating what the people on YouTube say that you should do about Amazon Web Services.
I finally get the failed files uploaded. If you're still here, you've learned a lot about the limitations and usefulness of Amazon Web Services S3 using the graphic user interface. The next video looks at open source enterprise class free software and a surprisingly simple solution that rocks.